Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope all's well. So we got in there What? How you doing, What? Speedy, how you doing? Tavanaro. Let me try that one again. Tenarivo. I'm sure we've done this before, haven't we? Tenarivo. Let's have a look. Okay, market has just officially opened. Hi, you can just call me Rivs, is that right? Rivs. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Come on, get up. We do seem to be sort of having a slight bullish imbalance here. Is that slowing down there? Yeah, it is. Let's just get out of here.
Target filled.
Yeah. Okay. Happy days. Okay, I'll have a talk to you in a minute. I've had a few issues. So let me just put that there. There was a higher low there, and that went for, I think, 3 points. Oh, dear. 3 points, is that right? Yeah, 3 points. Oh, no, tell a lie. Yeah, 3 points. Higher low plus 3 points. Okay, thanks, mate. Although it's sort of semi-bad news anyway, but yeah, we got a leg up and a leg up. We had a break, made a new high, came back down. We went 1, 2, 3. It looked like a bottoming pattern there. Now, sometimes I see these trades go, and I'm pretty sure I know where they're going, and I always miss out, but we've had 3. You call that a triple test. 1, 2, 3, bullish bar for me. We do seem to have a bullish imbalance, don't we? So we've got a leg, 2 legs of correction, and another leg in the way of 2 legs by the looks of things. So 1 leg. We call that 1 or 2 legs. Let's go from here so I don't overcook it. So somewhere around about there. Maybe a little bit. Maybe here. Let's put it there for now anyway, but yeah, I pretty much know where it's going. So, okay, so yesterday, had a great day yesterday. Great as in, loads of patience, sat there for 3 hours. Didn't take a single trade, felt really good. Went downstairs after tea, around, because obviously UK time, I finish around about 5:30. Went down, had tea. He was itching to come back up at 7 o'clock. Come back up. To cut a long story short, blew 2 PAs. I just have a real problem with coming back later in the evening. I get a real urge to come back. And I've been talking to a few people about it on one of the Facebook groups and trying to figure out how the hell to combat it. And it's actually a lot more common than I realised. In all fairness, all the accounts I've ever blown are not when I'm streaming. They're evenings when I come back in the evening. So I really need to sort of nip this in the butt before it gets worse. So basically I have 1 account left and 1 account due to come in a few days. So I think you was up 600, just came back later, 300 of the day. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I can't think of, I don't know, sometimes you come back in it and it works, but I feel like I'm a different trader in the evening, and it's because there's so much psychological side involved in trading. It's really hard to put your finger on where the problems is. So I'm just trying to think. It's all right. I don't feel as bad as I did when I blew those 4 accounts, which was a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, whatever, a few weeks ago. But it's weird how powerful that urge to pull a trigger is. Now, we all know what it is. We all know, this game is way more addictive than I think people realise, because it is a form of gambling. It's exactly what we are doing. We're gambling, but we're gambling with an edge. Unlike, betting on horses, you can get a small edge in horses. I mean, if you're a horse expert or you're an absolute racing fanatic, yeah, you can tip the odds in your favour. And we've all heard of professional gamblers, but they're obviously a lot rarer than professional traders. Obviously, there's a big difference in trading. We can get a 90% at least win rate, whereas just straightforward gambling, obviously, it's a little bit different. But what strikes me as weird is never been ever interested in gambling. It's never been an issue for me. It's never interested me. You know, even the buzz from winning or losing, it's just never even been an issue in the slightest for me. So I don't know why this, but the trouble is, initially when you first start trading, you don't associate it with gambling. It's only when you find it quite addictive and when you look into it and do a little bit of research, you realise it's very, very closely linked. And there's so many videos out there that talk about, you know, am I a trader, am I a gambler? And there's a trader that I follow, does really well actually, makes a lot of, a lot of money. He's always on these forums with other traders. And I watched him last night and he was talking about this issue. He said he would finish for the day and he would come back late in the evening. He would, you know, just say, I'm just going to sit and watch. I'm not going to take a trade. And obviously, as you're watching, you know, you're sort of working out what's going on. And he said before he knew it, was in a trade, he was a couple of grand down and he was in all sorts of trouble. So he had to basically stop. So, you know, he had to shut his computer down at night, do everything he's got to do there and then and walk away. And it's something I'm really going to have to focus on because, you know, I've got some good points to my trading. I think my chart reading is probably good, maybe above average. I've been trading long enough now to spot a good trade. I can exercise patience when I need to. I did it for 3 hours yesterday and never took a trade. Okay, got a channel up. There's a possible higher low there. That's finished pretty naff. So, you know, I've got some good things going for me. It does look like it's going up there, but that's a bit of a doji. I'll tell you what I haven't done. So what I need to do is concentrate on and keep working on the things I'm good at and really try and focus on the things I'm not so good at or the things I struggle with. I don't think it's a gambling issue. It's a bad habit issue. From our early days, we can't shake. Yeah, you may be right. But I said that about my wife. I think it's a gambling thing. But my wife says, you've never been a gambler. You've never interested. Now, funnily enough, and I can sort of... What's just changed there? Oh. Funnily enough, I used to do something called matched betting. Now, I don't know if anybody knows anything about matched betting. But I did that for 2 years, and that's what got me onto trading. And what match betting is, it's not actually gambling. People think it is, but it's not. So what it basically is I don't know how it works in other parts of the world, but in the UK, we have the bookies, the bookmakers, the online bookmakers. And what it basically is the online bookmakers will say, if you sign up for an account, you say, bet £10 of your own money, we'll give you a £50 free bet. And there are some companies out there that provides you the software and show you how to make money out of that free bet. So to cut a long story short, what you do is you bet, say, £10 on Liverpool to win, and then you go onto a betting exchange, and I used to use something called Betfair, and you bet against that result. So effectively what happens is you bet 10 to win and you bet 10 from not to win. So one cancels out the other, and you neither win nor lose. But then you get the free bet, and then you use a slightly different calculation, and for every free bet you get, you make about 80% profit, and you make that money, and then you go on to the next one, and that's how it is. So you are putting bets on, but it's not gambling. And in all that 2 years, I was putting bets on and seeing these bets either win or lose, and it made no difference to me. I never had an issue at all. I can make some money out of it as long as you're not a gambler. Yeah, but same, mate. I never had... No, it's just never interested me. I've got mates who play fruit machines. There's a casino about 20 miles down the road. I've had people say, I've never, ever been to a casino. It's never interested me. The only thing I ever bet on, rarely, is the Grand National in the UK. It's like almost like a tradition. We usually get £5, bet on 5 different horses and have a thing. But I haven't even done that for the last couple of years because it just bores me. I've got no urge to do it. So I've never had what I would call an addictive nature. I used to smoke a little bit when I was younger, but mainly when I went out for a beer. Otherwise, I never used to touch them. I've never really been addicted to anything. It's just, you know, it's just not in my personality. So maybe it isn't gambling. I don't. You know, people say, oh, you get that buzz and all that. I hate the buzz. You know what I mean? It doesn't interest me, the buzz from winning. If I win, yeah, it feels nice, but I try and put it beside me. And so whether it's just, I think what it might be down to is greed. Because we all, I don't know how many times I say, oh, yeah, you get 200 a day, you times that by 10, that's $20,000 a month. I think I'm getting a bit greedy, or I'm maybe showing signs of trying to be a bit too greedy, and thinking, oh, I can't let 2 hours of the market go. You know, I've got to get in and go and make some more money. So I think it may be down to being a bit greedy. I think I don't quite know. So possible greed, possible boredom. Yeah, you're right, Speedy. You've done it as well, are you? Yeah, I can make some money. You've done it. Oh, much better, have you? Yeah, if anybody's not done it and anyone wants to make a bit of money at it, people think it's a gimmick. It's not. It really isn't. I made about £8,000 over 2 years. So I used to use something called Odds Monkey. Odds Monkey. Let's have a look, just in case anybody ever does look into it. Yeah, that's what I used to use, Odds Monkey. Even look on Trustpilot, they're on Trustpilot. But what it does, it gives you a free trial, so it shows you how to make about £50, £45, £50. So you sign up to 3K. It's simple. It really, people think it's a gimmick. It's not. It really does work. I made about £8,000 on it, but you've only got to look on, you know what I mean? But as soon as you mention matched betting, it goes in one and out the others. I don't know how many times I've told my mates about it, and the odd one does, but normally you would pay that a month, and you would probably make 4 or 5 times that a month. But they show you how to do it, no credit card, how to do it for free, and you make about £40. But I did that for about 2 years, and I made about 8,000. But the point is, I was actually betting on things all the time. But I never, it never sort of just excited me at all. Okay, so 1 minute I'm thinking we look like we're going up. There's a possible 2 legs down. My only issue as well, we're up here, then we're a bit further, then we're a bit further. So whether that's going to trigger and come down, I don't know actually. I'm thinking up, but in all honesty, it's starting to maybe look like the top of a range. So I'm going to leave that alone. And I'll tell you why. So, look, you're thinking long there. I was thinking long there, but let me just change that. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes when I change that, it shows a completely different picture. That maybe doesn't. Let's have a look. Yeah. It might be working up, but to me, it does seem like it's trying to find some resistance. So I think going along there might be a bit risky. By the count, it's not a second entry, but it's clear 2 legs down to me, and it's triggered. But then it's EMA's flattening off, maybe slightly dipping, but it looks to me like it's pushing up and then starting to go like that, starting to dip and lose momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does come down and stop that out. But anyway, going back to it, so I've got some good things going for me. I can, stick at it, and that's where a lot fail. So that's, one of my sort of stronger points. I can take a failure and a battering and come back. My chart reading, I think, is okay. I think that's above average. I find that pretty naturalish. My patience is getting better. I can spot trades okay. I just have this bloody issue to come back in the evening, this real urge, which I find really hard to give into. Everything was going so well, and I don't know why I did it. Because perhaps I don't know, if I think about it logically, it's the only time I've really done damage when I've come back in the evening, so you'd think it's bloody obvious, wouldn't you? But it is frustrating. Perhaps it's another thing I thought about. Perhaps because I know people are watching me in the stream, you tend to behave yourself. But that makes me think I'll never be able to trade without the stream, which is not the end of the world, I suppose. There's always people going to watch you. But I've never liked something that controls me. You know, if I've ever been frightened of something, I'll do it to stop myself, you know. Did you take multiple losses? What I did is ended up going to 10 contracts, trying to get back. First of all, I got into a trade I knew was quite poor. I just wanted to get something on the board. And that went about $250 against me. And then I jumped in. I clicked the button about the buy about 3 times to get back in. It went against me even more. So the 860 I'd made on the one account then went down to about $60. And then you just go back in with 10 contracts or 5. I can't remember what I did. And the account was blown. So then you're angry and frustrated. So then you pick on another PA account and try to get extra money back. And it's a spiral, and that's what happened. So I've got this skill that I can make money and have a better life, but I've also battling with a psychological side, which is putting really tough obstacles in front of what I've learned. So on the one hand, I've picked up some great skills that I've learned over the last sort of 2.5, 3 years. And on the other hand, I've got this powerful urge to come back in and do stupid things. So it's quite a battle, really. If I've had a good day but feel the urge to return, I trade the smallest possible amount. Yeah, I kind of like that. I find it helps scratch the itch. That's a good point, mate, actually. If you win or lose, a few extra quid. Yeah, that's a good point, Edward, that is. I didn't think of that. It is almost like scratching an itch. It's funny you put it like that. It actually, it's exactly what it feels like. What I really want to do is not give in to it, because I hate something that controls me. A guy I chat to, Martin, he said to me, why not just switch your stream on? So at least then if you are trading, people are watching, whether it's 1 or 3 or 20, at least then it'll stop you from, you know, because some people have said, oh, I don't think you should stream and do this. I think it makes it harder. Actually, I make a lot less mistakes and do a lot less stupid things when I stream. So I think it actually works really well with me. Did you have a trend line going up before AM? I'm imagining things before AM. Are we on about this morning, bud, are you? When I took that? Yeah, I did. I had something somewhere around about there. I think it was about there. I had across the bottoms. Yeah, I had something. It was something like that. Obviously, that's why I took that one there. We had sort of one leg down, 2 legs down. We tried to go low. One's trying to go. So that for me was a triple test. 1, 2, 3. Nice big bullish bar. Every time it comes here, it's taken off. So I went with that one. The instinct said to me, just take it. So I did, and it worked. So many trades, so many times now, I sort of talk myself out of trades, which is why. This is just an evaluation here, which is why when I get back onto a PA tomorrow, I'm going to reduce the risk and maybe go for 2 trades a day instead of 1. But there was trades yesterday I left because trading 2 contracts, there's a certain amount of risk there, but trading 1, I might go for these trades a bit more or maybe hold out. I went for 3 points there, but if I'd have put it at the top, which where I thought it was going to go, I'd have got, well, nearly double. So sometimes you're better off dropping from 2 contracts to 1 and just holding it a bit longer, because so many times it goes for a lot more. So yeah, I had that, but when it started teetering off, because it's going up, but then it's, I was okay with that. We're still slightly higher, but then when it's sort of stalling a bit, so it's hard to know. Pattern-wise, I don't know whether these type of patterns, it's an ascending wedge, isn't it? I don't know whether they tend to break out to the upside or down. I don't quite know. So that's how I had it, and then I got rid of it because I thought, maybe it isn't, maybe it's just ranging, but at the moment it is still holding, which is why 2 legs down, I took that after that triple test. So many times I see these and think, yeah, we're going up, and we do, and I do nothing about it. So we're coming to this little tight area here, so that short's triggered. At the moment we are going up, but it's not something I really want to get into. In fact, that is a second entry short. It's a failure. Technically, when it breaks above there, it will stop that out, but the trouble is it may just nick above it and come down because it's... I really don't want to get into a trade into this little bit here because I don't know whether it's going to shoot up or down. I'm guessing it's going to do 1. But that's a good point there, Edward. Maybe come back and just trade a micro. 1 micro. That's actually a really good point. That might be it. I might get a bit more advice on that later. I'll put a post later on the Facebook group and say somebody suggested this on the stream. I mean, what is it? Is it an addictive urge to do it? Is it greedy? Is it greed? I'm beginning to think it's greed. Okay, I did have a feeling that could either shoot up or down pretty quickly, which is why I didn't get involved there. But can you not contact Apex about setting max? Okay. Now this is a topic I've long wanted to talk about. Okay, so you can go into Rhythmic and set a max daily loss, but you can also go back into it and cancel that in about 20 seconds. So if you're having an issue with an urge, that is not going to stop you. Now, I don't know whether Apex would set something up which stops people from blowing accounts, because in all honesty, that's where they make a massive stack of their money. Now, if all of a sudden, yeah, that's why I got rid of that uptrend. All of a sudden, if Apex start providing, because let's face it, if we've revenge traded and blown accounts, the following day, all that urge, all that sort of thing is gone, isn't it? So if I can manage to get through the night, the following day I'm fine. I've got no urge to come to the chart early. No urge at all. I got to this chart about 2:10, and I had to run out quickly, pick my daughter up. They finished early today, and it's battering down outside. But I don't know whether Apex would entertain something like that, because what they would basically be doing is taking away a ton of their money. Because, you know, the amount of people that blow accounts will drop dramatically, so I don't think they'd entertain anything like that. I mean, I looked into possibly whether you can lock your computer out for 6 hours or 8 hours. I mean, if you can put something in your software that locks you out for 12 hours, that'd take you to the following day. But should I really be even thinking about stuff like that? You know, because some people might say if you can't control yourself that you've got to physically lock yourself out, then you shouldn't be doing it, or you should give up, or you know what I mean? So I just, when one is on tilt, you will find the way back. Absolutely. And I can tell you something now, you know, being able to temporarily block your account, that you can switch back off in a matter of seconds is not a deterrent at all, really, is it? I mean, my wife did say, if you want, when you finish trading, I'll come up and I'll just change the password on the computer, and then I'll switch it back at 10 o'clock at night when the market closes. So that's a possibility, but someone said, I wouldn't go getting your wife to do that. They didn't give a valid reason. Perhaps they thought I might end up torturing her for the password. But to be honest with you, I came downstairs last night and told my wife, and she went, I don't know what I can say. I don't know what I can say to help you. You know, she's all for me to do well. She's very supportive. She went, you know, I don't need to tell you, you shouldn't be doing it. You know yourself. So she's pretty good, actually, considering I told her I chucked another load of money away. But I think she knows the potential of trading because I've talked to her enough about it. And I think she thinks she's getting a Land Rover at some point in the future. But, I could do that, but I don't know. I feel weak having to get my wife to set her passwords. It's almost like I'm addicted to drink and I've got to get my wife to hide bottles of whiskey. I feel like a failure doing that. I wasn't going to trade today, but I thought, no, I'll just come on. Sometimes I like talking about it. It's good to get it out off your chest. And not only that, I think it helps others because there might be a couple of other you guys thinking, oh, I go through exactly the same thing. Perhaps it's just me and all that, but it's surprisingly common, all this. If you search on YouTube gambling and trading, it's just so many videos. It's a form of gambling, but a form of gambling that you've got to control. I think we all need to find a way to face it and fix up. Yeah, we do, don't we? Finding shortcuts. Let's just put, I agree with that. That's why, I could get my wife to, but I do feel like a bit of a pussy, to be fair, doing that. I should be thinking what I should be doing is manning up, sucking up and going, for Christ's sake, all you've got to do is stay away from your computer. How hard can it be? So I'm going to have to get some sort of hobby. It's that evening when I finish around about 5:30 UK time. I go downstairs, I have tea with my family, and it's usually about 7 o'clock I come up, and sometimes I almost creep up. I don't tell my wife what I'm doing. And then before you know it, I'm coming downstairs saying I've blown more accounts. So perhaps I like that idea, Edward, actually, about just maybe trade a micro. I mean, what is a micro? $5 risk. My only issue with that is it like, taking a very weak drug and then quickly moving on to something a lot more powerful. Would you quickly go ×2 or ×10? I don't know whether you would, actually. What I always like to do with anything like that, because I've never really been addicted to anything, and anybody it is, my wife smoked for years, and I used to say to her, just stop it. But now I sort of find myself in that position. I want to do it. Yeah, I'm all for going cold turkey with these things, but although it's a new experience for me, and I want to just find some way of going, that's it, computer shut down, I ain't coming back, whatever. And whether I've got to go out the house or walk around, go out for a walk or go to the gym or whatever. But I need to deal with it because it's spoiling a potential, nice little money-making thing to give me a little bit of better life. Yeah, I don't want to make a fortune. Man, if I could make $10,000 a month, I would be the happiest bloke alive. It's not a lot in this business. Not a lot at all. You have 10 accounts and you withdraw £1,000 a month. It's not difficult, but I don't want to make a fortune. But I think, on the other hand, I've worked hard and I've built some skills up, which are starting to pay off now. They're allowing me to take trades and build an account. And on the other side, I've got this weak thing which keeps sucking me back in for a bit more. And that's the bit I need to just cut out. And I always think cold turkey is the best. But yeah, it is common. It's very common. And that's the trouble with this, because you sort of get a buzz like... because I've never been addicted to gambling, I don't know what the fascination is, but all I can say, it must be that buzz you get when you're in a trade, when you're whether you've made a bet or in a trade. It's the same thing to a degree. They're very, very closely related, because I am betting the market's going to go up and I'm putting money on it and I could lose. So it's identical in a way. But obviously, the skills you learn have a massive impact on whether you're good at it. Whereas, the skills are limited really in betting on horses. As I say, if you're a horse racing fanatic, you might have a better chance than someone who isn't. But ultimately, I think there's very, very few people that are professional gamblers. Maybe things like poker. It's a bit of difference there because you're in control with poker, but with horse racing, you're not. You're just sat on the sidelines watching. But now I'm quite happy. I've got no urge to jump into a trade. If I sit here for the next 2 hours and don't take a trade, I've got no problem with it. It's just later in the evening. You think we are all fooling ourselves about this business. I have asked myself that question, Chris. I think the vast majority of us actually losing money at this. I tell you what it is, mate. I don't want to answer that in a way where I think people should start giving up, because I don't. I believe, from everything I've learned, everybody goes through this. And everything is pointed to one thing. It's changing that mindset to be able to accept being uncomfortable in a job. And I did hear somebody put it, it's about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I absolutely don't doubt you can make money. I prove you can. I managed to get an account up over 3 months. Over the last, 3 days, I've took 3 trades. And they've all been winners. They've not been luck. They've done what they were supposed to do. So it can be done. You can do it, and it's not rocket science. The bit that people struggle with, and it's written about, and we all know it, is the psychological side. So forget the skill side. That'll come. That's just a matter of time. I believe that's the same case with the psychological side, but the psychological side is the bit that you feel the punishment, you feel the pain. And obviously you lose the money. And some people say, I'll go back to a sim. Sim's not my problem. I can take trades. I can take winning trades. And not only that, if you go back to sim, you don't experience this uncomfortableness, and you have to experience it to be able to manage it. So you sort of have to risk money in it to a degree. Otherwise, you're never going to spend time feeling like this. 95% of us can't get past break even. Yeah. So you're not wrong. Brant commented he also would guess 95% of people trading like Matt can't do it either. It's not an easy business to look out for more profit areas. Super micro scalping. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't scalp a point. Now, if I was experienced as Mac, and he's been doing that, perhaps scalping for a point was different then, but most of these trades that we take go for way more than a point. I mean, that trade, I took 3 points and it went for, I can't remember a trade that didn't go for over 2 points. So I think, in fact, I was chatting to a guy called Trader Strange yesterday, and he said he always goes for 1-to-1. Now, I suppose the beauty about 1-to-1, even if you get above, say, 60%, you're making money, aren't you? But it's trading over a bigger picture and not what happened today or what happens, 5 minutes ago, or what happens in the next losing trade. It doesn't define you, but you have a losing trade when you're on a P account and you feel it. It's not nice. But what does it mean? It doesn't mean nothing. It means you've lost one trade. One trade doesn't define you. It's never going to define you. But it's the action. It's like the action, and reaction. The action is you've lost a trade. The reaction is you go on tilt. But it's just trying to deal with that. But I never took a trade yesterday, so I was really pleased with my patience yesterday. From some point, sim does not. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sim to learn to trade, absolutely, because you've got to understand what's going on. But for me, and I've described this before, it's like a boxer. You or me, who are not a boxer, cannot step into a ring, put a pair of gloves on, and be calm, cool, and collective. Your emotions will be all over the place. If you've been going to boxing classes for 3 years, you're going to get in there and you're going to look like a completely different person. So anything which harbours strong emotions of something that you're doing, unless you're used to it, you won't be able to deal with it. And it's getting to that stage, isn't it? It's getting in that ring day in, day out, till you start to relax and think, okay, the emotions, yeah, I'm feeling the emotions, but I can control them. And now I can think about what I'm doing. I can keep my hands in, keep my elbows in, so I'm not going to get hit. If I get hit, it's not going to shock me, because what's the worst that's going to happen? So win 4 trades, lose 1, you're down. Absolutely. Oh, trading one contract. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah. I remember when I first started, I worked my ass off to get 4 trades, and I was up $200 trading one contract. And then I had a 3 3/4 point bar, and I took that trade, and with fees, I was ever so slightly in the red, and that's trading at 80% profit rate. So yeah, I agree. Trading 1 point is a no-no. I think it needs to be at least 6 ticks. Personally, I think 1-to-1 or maybe 2 points minimum. But I think you lose one, you win one, you're more or less back to normal, aren't you? I think that's the way to go. So if we look at that, so tick above, tick below, there's 2 3/4 points there. And I took 3 points. So fraction over 1-to-1. So, but what I'll say, and this is how I went from climb the points ladder. Every decent trade that you take, now you know whether it was a good setup because you'll look on the Facebook groups and you'll realise everyone took that. But just for an example, just make a note. If you'd have taken 2 points here or 1-to-1, would it have won? So I'm just going to quickly open someone's chart. Let's pick on Marco because I respect him and he's a good trader. So I'm just going to pick on his chart from yesterday. He won't mind. Where is it? Okay, 21 hours ago. Okay, so I'll keep his name and all that out of it. But okay, so this is Marco's chart from yesterday. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so what trades did he mark? Whether he took it or not, or marked it, I don't know. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 trades there. Now, clearly see, every single one of them went for way over 2 points. That one did, that one did, that one did. And every single one of those went way over 20 points. Now, we're in an uptrend, it's different. But I would say, in fact, I got a piece of paper here somewhere. I looked on Mac's chart going back a couple of weeks, and I counted that he'd marked 205 trades. 203 made 2 points or over. So that is a huge amount. So for me, 2 points is a no-brainer. 2 points is a starting point. But you have to figure that out yourself. So if you go back all over your trades and just look, that clearly went for, you know what I mean? If I look at my other charts for the day, every trade I take, very, very few don't make over 2 points. Very few. So if you go for 1-to-1, I think it's a good balance because even if you're getting 70% right, 1-to-1, you're making money. You know what I mean? So if you take 10 trades in a week, let's say you win 7, $200 each, there's $1,400. You lose 3, there's $600 down, so you're still up $800. So for 10 trades, trading 2 contracts, 1 for 1, you're up $800 per account per week. Times that by 10, it's a massive amount of money. So yeah, that's taking a couple of trades a day. You know, so you take 5 trades a week, you win 4, you're up $800, you lose 1, you're up $600. $600 in a week, that's $2,500 in a month. Times that by 10. You can earn massive amounts of money, really. You don't need to do a lot. You know, 1 good trade a day. You win 4, you lose 1, you'll make a ton of money. All the money you need. I'll completely change my view of the chart, just my opinion. If your trade only went for 4 to 8 ticks, it was a bad trade or a bad area, I personally don't think 4 tick move is a win anymore. Yeah. I mean, if I take a bad trade and it goes for... well, I think the trick is as you get better, you'll take less and less bad trades anyway. But if you're going for 2 points, you're making double every time. So even if you take bad trades, you know, most bad trades will go up a tick or 2 and then reverse on you. You know, it's not often. But in all fairness, I think... if you should probably stick on a sim until you start to take good trades anyway. That's the best time to move. But you do have to have experience of trading for money because you've got to go through all that psychological barrier. You've got to get used to that. So if I was going to tell a complete newbie here, I would say spend 9 months on a sim. When you need to know what's going on. You need to know what's going on. And that's the time to move over, because you do have to have that second level of development, which is dealing with that emotional side of it. You just don't get it in a sim. You can't experience it in a sim. Scalp side was in a tight range, then you trend and you get away for 4 to 8 ticks. I think Albrook said the market moves in 10 points. Yeah. Do you know, I think I worked out maybe a year ago, 85% of my trades went for over 6 points. 85% of my winning trades went for over 6 points. And I was going for 2 points at the time, so you could potentially go for a lot more. But, I mean, if you're trading in let's say, a 5-point range, and you take a bar here, 2 points in, you've got 6 points to the top. So you've obviously got less room for manoeuvre in an uptrend. Some of those trades yesterday, you'd have got a minimum of 10 points on those trades, if a lot more in some cases. So what I try and do now is I make a judgment where I think the market. Now, when I took that trade, I just took 3 points. Now, I would have been 85% sure we were getting up to these highs, and we did. So if I'd have took that trade there, and I come out, let's say, let's put it at there, let's come back, say, a little bit more, yeah? So let's say there, I'd have been pretty sure after we had a break from that new high, we had 2 legs down, and this looked like a bottom in pattern. We had 1, 2, 3, nice big bullish bar. I will come up to test these highs for me. You know, I'd have been 85% certain, maybe a bit more, we were coming up there. So I could have had 5.5 points. So, 5.5 points trading to contract is $550. I could do 1 trade a week for 5.5 points and make over $2,000 a month per account. 1 trade a week. Plenty of trades that go for that. So I think, personally, in my opinion, the best course of trading is to decide based on what you're looking at of how many points you want to go to. Now, as I say, if you were trading a short here, I wouldn't be going for 6 points. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to sort of work the situation out. Now, this, like I say, I was pretty sure it's coming up here. Now, you might see it come up and come back down, and you might not like that. And that's the trouble. When you go for anything more than a couple of points, a lot of the times you've got to put up with a pullback first. But I think it's the way to go. Now, if you can get 5 points, if you can get 2 points as standard, if you can get 5 or 6 points on some occasions, then I think it's worth doing it. But let's just think about that for now. What I could have done there is I could have guaranteed myself a point and put my stop there, and then followed it up to that bar, and then followed it up to that bar, and then if it kept going, great. But if I'd have done that and followed it up per bar, I'd have got stopped out at 5 points. So I'll let it push up when it comes back and move it to the next swing. Let it push up. There's the next swing there, sorry. So I put it there, yeah. So I've guaranteed myself that. So there's different ways to trade, but I'm definitely in favour of, if the market is showing you there's a good chance we're going up to here, I think you need to take advantage of it. But you need to do it sensibly, and maybe, even if you follow each bar up. So say to there, even if you go from there and follow that bar up, and up to there, you've guaranteed yourself 3.25 points. Well, you know, maybe if that went up a little bit more, you know, you might, when that finished, you may get up to there. You may end up pushing up. There's just a little bit of luck. But I think we need to see clean, measured moves. Yeah, we do, absolutely. I've been working on trying to identify times that you can shoot for almost the whole measure. Yeah, measured moves and understanding them are massively powerful. You can see that, and I can tell by your comment. Now, if we seem to be generally moving up, and we have a nice channel like this with maybe 2 legs, it's a bit messy, but let's say 2 legs of correction, you can pretty much say that with reasonable certainty, we're going to get up to these highs. Now, if you take a trade here, and even if you go 3/4 of the way up from, say, that trade there, you can guarantee yourself 7 points. Now, that is the equivalent of, for me, of 3.5 trades worth of profit. You take one trade for 7 points per week, you're making nearly $3,000 a month off one count. So if you're clever and you're smart, and as our skills develop, that's why I think, yeah, Max scalps a point, but he scalps a point for his basic wage. His runners are his bonus, and in a lot of cases in the financial world, your bonus is usually a lot more than you know what I mean? So I don't know, what's the going rate in the US? $12 an hour, $15 an hour? So Max scalps for his basic wage. And then, because his skill of reading markets and legs, he makes money on his runners. So for me, that's what I would... that's what I'm trying to do. Identify these legs. We got a leg up here. So we got one leg back, two legs back. Push up nice and strong. So let's just... So down here, haven't we? So we got... Let's start it from here. Okay, so let's put it there. And let's put it there. So we got a leg up. We got 1, 2 leg back. That to me looks like it was bottoming. I was aware that came back twice. And that there. Then even if you went from there 3/4 of the way up, maybe to there, we're talking 5 points. News happening now. 3:15. Yeah, it's medium impact news. It's actually already happened. It's been done a minute, so it won't really do anything. I don't think. FOMC. That's tonight, isn't it? 7 o'clock UK time tonight. FOMC. But if I'd have just held on to that there, I took that trade and held on to where I'm pretty sure it was going to go to, and I put there's 5.5 points. If I could guarantee myself on 2 contracts $550 every week from taking one trade, I would do that and settle at that. That will be over $2,000 a month. I could pay myself $2,000 per account and let the few $100 on top just build. So, thinking about the bigger picture, but we have this thing inbred into us, trying to rush it, trying to do it too quick. And I think that's why I come back in the evenings just out of greed. I want it to happen overnight instead of, building up over 3, 4 or 5 months. So for me, I think it's a greed issue. Just trying to be too greedy, trying to build too quick. Okay, so I would say there's a leg there. And possibly another leg. So let's see how close we get to this. So let's think about that. We got a leg down there. Yeah. To there. We have a couple of pushes up. We start to work down, and there's a lower high there. So let's take this lower high, say, and we'll come down to about 3/4. So there's a lower high there. Come down to about there. 3/4 of that leg. There's 5.5 points there. Just 3/4 of the leg. So you think this leg's likely to come down. There's another reason why it's likely to come down, because this is the bottom. So taking trades like that and holding on to it. But obviously, when we get that first swing, if it's here, once it starts to move from that first swing, I think it's good then just to put it to break even, or break even +1. So you're guaranteed you're not going to lose a penny. So that 5 points... It's nice to know there's a good chance you're going to get 5.5 points without any risk once you bring that to, break even. Greed definitely play. I think that's what it is for me, mate. I've got no issues with saying what I am or the problems I have, because as far as I'm concerned, if you've got issues, you've got to get them out in the open and identify them. Doesn't embarrass me at all to say I suffer with greed. I am greedy. I want to earn a lot of money. But I think it is important to identify these things. If you can identify it, then when you get that feeling, maybe you can, it might help you deal with it. Hold on a minute, I'm being greedy here. What happened last time I was greedy? I ended up blowing my accounts. What happened the time before I was greedy? I ended up blowing my accounts. So do I want to blow my accounts? Because if you want to blow your accounts, go and blow your accounts. But I actually don't. Okay, so what you're going to do? Well, I'm going to have to find something to do. Walk away, go to the gym. I think I need an affair. I need something to suck up my time. But okay, so we got a leg down there. There's one push up, two pushes up. We've got a leg down there, one, two pushes up, and it's starting to come bearish. See if we can get another pull back here or something, but target somewhere around about 80. A little bit down here. Yeah, I certainly expect that to come down to there, but that's what I mean. If you can take that lower high and have just the patience. The good thing is, I think you've come back far enough now to put that at break even. I can't see it coming back that high, and if it does, it's probably coming higher, and it would have stopped you out anyway. So I think when we've had that initial push like that, I think put it at break even. That gives you enough space to have a first entry and come back up here. And then maybe get a second entry short and come back down. Let's see if... Let's put that at break even. Break even. But we got a leg down there, and this is another leg. There may be a small channel there with a break, new low, which should get us down here. But it is identifying that, you know, that urge you get. Now let's see if that stop would have held. If it does end up bearish here, then I'm tempted to take that, because there is, although there is a little bit of resistance there, but see what happens. It'd be interesting if that takes that out, because obviously there may be stops there, see, so if it doesn't take that out, sometimes it holds. Okay, it's held. So there is a second entry short, but unfortunately the signal bar's naff. It often doesn't make a massive difference. It still comes down anyway, but... Okay, so this looks like it may push up. So that would have hit your break even, but you may have taken that after that initial push. Like I say, I would come 3/4 of the way down, so if I took that, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 points, something like that. Trouble is, if you go for 5.5, it might just nick you, but if it comes up and comes back, I would tend to follow it then. Or maybe put it here, I don't know. But you're still okay at the moment, so... It is a second entry short, but the bar's naff. Having said that, it is holding still. If it holds for the third time and doesn't break that line there, I think it will continue down. But at least if you've put it back here, it's a risk-free trade. You may have gone for 2 points there, see? And you thought, okay, I'll let it go. You'd have certainly got your 2 points, but if it comes back and takes you out, you haven't lost anything, you just haven't made your 2 points. But it'll, you know, if it's doing this leg, it'll come down more often than not. So it often happens there. See, it'll never quite come up and do that. But see, what you could do is take your 2 points now if you wanted to. So if you've got your stop here, there's your 2 points. So you're still going to get your 2 points there, but I still have an inkling it's going to come down 2/3 of the way, so 3/4 of the way rather. So if I was going to take that trade, I would probably go for something like that, maybe. Something like that. But what I would probably do is follow it down with these bars, so maybe it would have took me out there for 3.5. I don't know. But I think you get the point I'm trying to make. If we're doing something like this and you think the chance we're going to come down and hit that, I think it's, in fact, I'd have probably gone for that line there. Maybe a tick above, what's that, the open? So maybe a tick above that, because it often hits that as a target. So there's 5.5 points there. Okay, so if this gets below there, it's going to hit some stops, I'd say. And the way it's looking, it's coming down. I think that there's a good chance we're going to hit that now. So even if you decided to bring this down maybe to here, you guaranteed yourself a point with the possibility of making another 4.5. So I think it's about judging each trade on its merit. You know, we're getting skilled enough to recognise what's going on, especially with these legs. You know, like we've been talking about, these measured legs are real powerful when you start to understand them and you can picture them. Initially, it's a bit messy. You don't know what you're looking at, but okay, let's put that back to break even and see if that held. It does look like it's going a bit there, but what I like about there is it's triggered that. So there's a failure there, which is triggered, but the moment we're coming down, so I wouldn't want to go long there. Let's see if it comes down and takes that out, or indeed it pushes up. I still favour it to come down and get me my points, but that's the trouble. When you're going for more points, you're going to have to put up with this extra stuff, but you might not mind that. Sometimes it's better to be in a trade for a few minutes than 10 seconds, because those 10 seconds can seem like it can be quite stressful. When I was trading with Penguin for a while, I kind of liked that I put my stop in there, I put this there, and I just let it go. There is a possibility of a spiking channel here, actually. Maybe. Let's see what happens. See if we get those points. Once we get below that bar and then that one, we're golden then. For me, that's coming down. Okay, we're below there, so that's good news. So if you did take the failure there long, you're out of that. Now this one will send us straight into these our points there. So you may even want to do it there. I'll bring that to there, because if it breaks above there again, we're going sideways and I'd rather get out the trade. So the good thing about this is I've now guaranteed myself, here comes my points, I've now guaranteed myself 2 points with the potential of another, that's coming down for me, with the potential of another 3.5. So 2 points is guaranteed. 1 tick above there, that's coming down for me. But if you can identify these legs, by going short there, you're in a really good place, actually. Even at break even, you're well above all this lot. My only slight concern I have there is that looks like a double bottom, is it? Yeah. So yeah, I would have mine 1 tick above this. I guaranteed myself 2 points. So I've been paid anyway. So this is the bonus, isn't it? It's almost like I've made a 2 point scalp and now this is my runner. So it's sort of the same thing really, but I think that's going to come down below there. I do. It's going to take out some possible stops there. Come on. It's still bearish. Oh, that might have taken your stop out. By 1 tick, yeah, so you've made 2 points. It's so close. Yeah, so you might have taken 2 points, but if you'd have left it there, in fact, let's that's where it would have been, yeah. You stop. You took that second entry short, did you? Can't see a second entry short. The touch of the EMA. Second entry short. I can't see a second entry short here. Not that one, though. Okay, it's still holding price. Trouble is with here, I mentioned this earlier, there is a little bit of resistance here, so there is a possibility it could find a bottom here. But let's see, there is a second entry short, possible second entry short there. No, that hasn't worked. So, depending on what you do, obviously there's a possibility you may just leave your stop there and think, I'm blah, 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 blah. So 2. That was your order, wasn't it? So your risk is 2 3/4 points. I mean, you may have it, maybe at that swing low there, which you've guaranteed yourself a couple of ticks. Well, more to the point, you've guaranteed you're not going to lose anything. But once it starts going sideways, you might wait for another push and just drop your stop in there and take 4 points or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is I think when you're in trading a while and you start to identify these areas, price can always go sideways. It can always can. It's just one of those things. But if you can identify these legs, I think, for me, I'm trying to trade each trade on its merit. Do I think it's worth more than 2 points? In which case I'll go for 2. I'm happy even going for 4 points because it gives me the equivalent of 2 lots of profit in one trade. But sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll go for a lot more. Another thing I've done before is taken that and brought my profit down here and just followed it down bar by bar. Now, in that case, if I'd have done that, I'd have gone to there, and to there. I'd have got taken out there for 3 1/4. So that's another possibility. There's so many different ways you can trade 1-to-1, 6 ticks, maybe a bit more. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I mean, I still think there's a good chance of getting these points. It's going sideways. A lot of the times when we've come down, it goes sideways. It does continue on down, but who knows? May even be trapping some longs here. It does look like it's bottoming. But you may have gone long above there. You may have gone long above there. Yeah, that's what I mean. Once something starts to go sideways, sometimes you're better off getting out of it. When it came up and came back down and started going sideways, I'd have probably jumped out of it somewhere around about the middle. Anywhere around there, 3 points, I'd be happy with that. Okay, excuse me just for 1 minute. I'm just going to go and grab a bottle of water. Okay. Okay, so if you'd have brought your stop to break even, you'd have gone out. But I'm guessing when it starts to go sideways, you may have gone out for 2 or 3 points. But I'm leaving that there because I still think there's a good chance we're going to get me points. A lot of the times when we come down and it goes sideways, it does finish off. I mean, it's ironic the way it triggers your stop out for 1 tick and then drops. So it just goes to show sometimes you think these markets are random. But you may have left it there, left your stop there. It's in quite a commanding place, to be fair. It's way above all this. So if there is any possibility of coming down, which I think it's likely, you should be safe. And at the end of the day, you're still only risking 2 3/4 points. We've got the bottoms here, so there's a good chance, as we've had a break, that we are going to continue down and break these lows. When we break these lows, I'll tell you for certain, there'll be some stops there thinking it's bottoming, and once it breaks that level, it'll push straight to them points. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, we're a couple of points off it. One quick surge down, take out a few of these, because I bet there'll be quite a few people going along in here. That's going to have a quick push in a second. And once it does, I think it'll come quite a bit lower. I don't mind a pullback. Maybe a little bullish bar, maybe to get some traders going long, which to trap them and take them out. So either or for me. So that's where we need to get below. Okay, that weak bull bar has just been triggered. Just going to drag this a bit further over. I still think it's going to break this. I mean, if you still got your stop there, you're still good. I'm just wondering if I've caused this. If I got people looking, thinking I'm holding. Yeah, I think after it went down again. I wouldn't have held on. I'd have been out by now, but that was just, seeing just out of curiosity. But I put that there. I'd have certainly got out around about here anyway, so I'd have been happy with 3 points based on that, in all fairness. But, so many times when it does this, it'll go sideways, and it'll break below. So I still think it will. There is a lower high there. I might take that. I'm on a
order submitted.
An evaluation anyway, so I don't mind. Come get me.
Order filled.
Let's go for about there. So there's a lower high there anyway, so. And if I was on a PA, I wouldn't have taken that. I just don't take this. I'm not very good. It's only because it's an evaluation. Good thing about failing a PA account is you get an 80% off an evaluation. So. Just not very good with picking tops, in all fairness. What's your account balance? Which balance? This evaluation here? For now, it's 407 and climbing. I took a trade, didn't I? Go for a couple of points there. I'm jinxing myself now. Come on. No reason why you should hold there. Everything's gone below there. Everything's gone below there.
Target filled.
There we go. Yeah, I don't like picking tops, but I'm convinced it's coming lower. And it is a lower high. We've tried to push up. It's clearly struggling up there. So I still think it's going to make this 5.5 points. I do. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen. We come down, we go sideways, and we continue on down. So I'd say that is probably as safe as you can get, just for me, for my opinion, personally. But yeah. Granted, there's no argument there. That's why I'm not in a trade now. I took a trade there because it was a lower high and it was worth 2 points. But seeing this and then go sideways I see it go out. And the reason I'm just out of curiosity, if I'd have taken that trade, gone for 5.5 points below there where I think it's going, and left my stop there, I was just out of curiosity just to see whether it would have made the points. Because I would say so many times when I see this happen, it eventually then comes down. And yeah, it might break this a bit, but I think personally that's quite a safe place for a stop. It was quite a sort of valid place. If you took a trade there, it clearly worked, telling me that, you know what, there would be other shorts there, because obviously when it moves like that, leg, there's clearly shorts in that trade, no doubt about it. But I still think it's going to hit that level there. There's going to be some stops there. In fact, if it does hit that with all this stuff, with all this resistance here, I can see it dropping quite quickly. Okay, so you've got your 5.5 points. So it just goes to show, if you can read the markets, you understand what's going on. I was pretty confident, that's why I left that there. Now, I'm obviously not trading this, but that's my point about making a judgment call. So let's say, for instance, I'd traded one contract on that. So that's 2 3/4 point with a tick above that one there. So I'd have been risking, what's that, 275, it's 150, it's $135. So if I were happy to risk $135 there and put that there, I'd have made myself $275. Now, $275 for a 2 contract trade, I think is good. So you may feel more comfortable if you think you're in a strong position just to hold it. That's what I mean. I think it's good if you can read these trades, read these markets, and these are so damn accurate. And look where it is, right at the bottoms. I'd expect it to hit that. So if you're confident enough in what you're doing and you've got your risk low enough, I think it's good to hold on to these sometimes. We'll clearly hit my target of 5.5 points anyway, but there's going to be some stops below here. They may put them a bit further down, I don't know, but there'll be some there for sure. So I'd expect a quite quick little drop. I'd certainly expect it to hit that, but these measured moves are so accurate. But okay, so my points were clearly hit there. So if you'd have put your trade there and you'd have left your stop where it is and let that go, sometimes it goes sideways, but often when it goes sideways, you lose confidence, you're not so sure, you get out of it. And how many times have we got out of these trades when you take a good position, and what happens, it ends up going exactly where we think it is. I can't tell you how many times it's gone sideways and I've got out of a trade, but that's a good strong position to be in, I think. You know, it's come off here, it's a lower high, and the way that reacted, I like that. Okay, so we've gone down to a matching low with that one there, so that's solid. So point wise, what did it go for? So if you'd have gone out there, you'd have got 7 points there. So it just goes to show I had it there, didn't I? Excuse me a sec. Sorry. Yeah, I generally don't pick tops. I wouldn't have done it on a PA because I'm just not very good at them, but it was a lower high, and after all this, I did expect it to come down, so yeah, it worked. So how long? I might knock it on the head actually early today. A bit of a frustrating night last night, so I've took a couple of... The thing is, I blew a couple of accounts last night. So the good thing about when you blow PAs, you get an 85% off offer, so I took another evaluation. I've got another PA going live tomorrow. I'm just sticking to one PA for now. I want to build it up. Trouble is, losing one PA is one thing. Losing 3 or 4 in what I row is a completely different other. It's a lot more painful. And in all fairness, if you are blowing PAs, for me, it's not really very sensible having multiple ones. So the way that's making lower lows, there is a second entry short there. I'm
Order
just going to take
filled.
that just out of... let's have a look. It's quite a small risk actually. It's 0.5.
Stop
Okay,
filled.
it's knackered me out. There was a second entry short there. I had a feeling we were doing that. Second entry short. Yeah, I switched it off just for a second. My wife had just turned up and the dogs tend to bark like crazy. So, okay. So I'm going to knock it on the head today, folks. I'm going to have an early day. I'm back on a PA tomorrow. So I want to take the afternoon off and just do some relaxing stuff. I'm going to do a bit of cooking with my daughter this afternoon. We're going to make some bread. So yeah, it's anytime, Chris. So, but yeah, I mean, we had that conversation, didn't we? So you all know where I stand. So I'm back on a PA, and I'm just concentrating on one PA at a time. There's no point in having multiple PAs if you're struggling. You need to get, it just doesn't make sense blowing 3 in one go. If you're blowing them, you might as well just stick to the one. You know what I mean? So there you go. So I'm going to take the afternoon off, do something with my daughter this afternoon. She's finished school a bit earlier, so there you go. So I'll be back tomorrow, back on a PA. I'm just focusing on the one. So have a great day. I hope you get some green today. And so best of luck, and I'll see you same time just before the market opens tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and bye for now.